Do we need to talk about that Wilson question still, or did we?
Which was the Wilson question? Oh,
What quarterback do you want next year if you had to pick a starter?
I'm definitely going Zach Wilson because of the contract element. I can get out of it in 2 years and I'll be good. Or if I wanted to go ahead and get rid of him now, it doesn't kill me.
You could just bench him.
Yeah, it doesn't kill me. And he's still young, so
No. I'm sorry, you can't bench him. The question is, he has to be your starter the whole season.
Yeah. I'm going with Zach Wilson because I can move on quicker, man. Yep. With Russ,
I go back and forth with this.
Russ is very talented, man. Russ is. I just don't know if Russ can do it as a standalone. I don't. The Seattle situation, I loved it for him, man. It looked great for him at times, and that was why he had the success that he had at times. I just don't know if that's. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just not a Russ guy. That could definitely be it too. Maybe I'm just not a Russ guy.
I go back and forth with this because
we would all say
this season for Russ is the outlier throughout his career.
Yes.
So if you're gonna pick Russ, you're just banking on a bounce back. That this season it's just a really bad year. I know the contract's bad, but I don't know if there's any hope for Zach Wilson. That's my thing. The hope is based off potential, whereas at least Russ, you could look and say, he did this in the past.
In the past.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not washed in terms of age for a quarterback. Now, maybe it's different if he's 40, but...
And how long has Zach been in the NFL?
2 seasons.
So are you just moving on that quick from 2? That's my thing. I'm like, if I'm going to have the cheaper, younger...
This is the dilemma.
Nah.
The dilemma is, with Zach Wilson, you're just hoping for something we just have not seen before out of him.
But
whereas Russell Wilson is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
At the beginning of the season, though. You saw stuff at the beginning of the season.
You did. I guess that's the next question then. Did the Jets sabotage Zach Wilson?
No, I just think that, and this is something that obviously a lot of the national people have talked about, but they were just saying how in the sense that they just think that he develops, or the team developed faster than what they thought it was going to be. In terms of, they brought up like the whole Daniel Jones situation and how he has had time, right, for that team to get better with him. Whereas with the Jets, Sauce Gardner came in there, locked up on defense. Saleh come in there, and it's like, okay, man, they actually playing. They compete, and they doing all this stuff. And for Zach, he plays quarterback. We talk about Josh Allen, took him 3. And we were already about to say no after 2.
There were signs for Allen, at least.
It was signs for Zach. He got talent, too. The only difference is, in Buffalo, the pressure wasn't on him because they weren't winning like that at that time. They were still trying to figure it out. New York, it's like, yo, they was winning. At one point in time, it was like, yo, they about to win the division? Remember, that was a conversation. But then it became, man, Zach keep tricking it off. He keep messing it up. I don't know, man.
If I could just get a decent team around Russ. Because the Broncos, I think
the Broncos were a decent team going into the season. What are we saying?
Yeah.
So get a decent team around him. He has a decent team around him.
I think if I had to bet, I'd go Russ, and I'd say just get me a different coach. Like if that's the scenario, we could have that Broncos style of team around Russ. Give me a different coach. I'd roll with that as opposed to betting on Zach Wilson, a little more unknown. At least just being competitive. I don't know if either team's necessarily in Super Bowl contention, but just to try to
this is why
make the playoffs.
I feel like we're always going to have difference of opinions on Russ because I still feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think you look at his success and say that he won that because of who he is. I look at it and I say beast mode, defense, Legion of Boom is what created him. And I think that's what we always differ. So like when we think of Russ, I think you think of him.
It was a huge help, especially at the younger portion.
I feel like
of his
you
career.
think of Russ like Brady, Brady, Rodgers, Ben, and stuff like that.
I'd say he's a little bit of a tier below. He's up there,
I feel like he's below them. Yeah, I feel like he's below them. Because I look at that and I'm like, man, you had the perfect scenario to literally help you and grow with this. And since they have left, when they chose you over them, you have not come close to that again.
He's been close.
Define close.
They've made the playoffs every year.
No. Close in terms of back-to-back Super Bowl appearances or winning one and then going back to another one. Has he been close to that since they broke it up?
Yeah, but
they have not.
You could go through any quarterback then.
Ben's been back. Ben went to the AFC Championship game multiple
times.
But
Russ,
went to a Super Bowl multiple times. Brady
on,
went there multiple times, right?
They've gone on runs.
We've seen Rodgers even go a couple times, right, into the NFC Championship. Now he ain't winning, but he's even had more consistent.
I don't have it on the top of my head, but I
That's
wish
like
I
my
knew.
whole dilemma.
I wish I knew
Yeah.
if Russ made the NFC Championship over the last 5 or 6 years.
I don't know.
I think I
know he's
runs.
done division rounds, but I don't know if he's ever been
runs.
back to the NFC. Yeah. But that's my whole issue with him. I'm like, I think that he's a dope quarterback, but I don't view him as those type of guys. And I think that you view him like flirting with those guys, and I don't. I don't think he's flirting. I think that it's a difference.
In his tenure in Seattle, he's not even close to that right now. Yeah. His tenure in Seattle, I mean, like I said, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
No, I agree, but like I said, I just look at it a little differently, man.
But even with those defenses leaving, they're just defensive players leaving and some of that talent leaving, he's still putting up numbers. Like in my opinion, he was the equalizer that kept Seattle relevant for those runs and winning divisions and getting in the playoffs.
All right. That's like I said.
That defense started going down the tubes.
I'm with you. And when that went down the tubes and he put the numbers, he was throwing to Lockett, and then they brought in Deke and all that. Once again, where has it went?
Again, that's with any quarterback though. You need a team. You need a defense.
I agree, but at the same time, when I bring up the other elite guys, and I can tell you where I've seen them go, even where they had less than, I don't always feel like that with Russ. But that's why I said maybe I'm just not a Russ guy. It could just be me. But that's just how I feel when I look at him. I'm like, bro, you're not like the dudes that you try to act like you're like. Those dudes have earned that. They've done that without the full-on care package that you had early on. I don't know. Like I said, it could just be me, though. Yeah.
You don't think he did anything after the
I didn't
care
say
package?
that. No. He did. But what has it been in terms of the extent? No different. We talk about big winning, right? That's one of your phrases, big winning. What is big winning?
He's
like
come
making
up
a
clutch.
run.
Yeah, he's
making
come
a
up
run,
clutch,
right?
But as I said, you need a team though, because going back to like even Ben or Rodgers, like they've had really good performances and carried teams, but sometimes when the defense,
they still were carrying them though. We've seen Ben carry teams.
When the defense slips, that's just not on the quarterback. Like the one example, the one game I think of is that Cowboys game.
Like, you think that one? I was going to say the Rodgers one. Yeah,
the fake spike by Ben, and like we get up with like a minute left.
I'm with you.
And then Zeke Elliott just runs it down our throats.
I'm with you.
End of the game.
Yeah, and that's a regular season game, right? But even with that, did we still not make a run that year, the following year? Because you're talking 15, 16, 17. We went AFC Championship game. We had a 2 seed, and then obviously went divisional, and because we had 2 division. Yeah. First time we lost in the wild card. Second time we lost on the road division round because we won the wild card versus Cincy. Lost to the whole fake Peyton Manning slide. Third year AFC Championship game. Fourth, you had the 2 seed. You lost to Jacksonville. So it's like you're still seeing multiple runs. You're still seeing at least 2 years where you won a playoff game, and the next year you won multiple playoff games, also AFC Championship game. When have I seen that from Russ? I don't know. Maybe, like I said, it could really just be me.
I'm pretty sure he's like made the playoffs almost every year.
I'm not talking about making. I'm saying, did he have a run?
They've won games, yeah.
Okay.
They've won.
It could be me, man. Like I said, it's just me.
I don't feel like looking up his year in and year out. I just know they've gone to the play. I think pretty much every year he's been there. And trust me, you're not getting a debate out of me between him and Ben, because Ben's always been ahead of him and Rodgers. Ben, Rodgers, Brady, all those dudes. I've always held above Russ.
I just think that people view Russ in that class, and I don't personally, man. I think that
he was close. He was very close.
He was close, but I don't think he was there. Oh, I don't want to say it. Because I'll be like, bro, I'll be here like, man, I like Russ over Eli, I like Russ over Matty Ice. But like,
I take Eli over Russ.
That's like where I'm stuck at. But I don't want it to be as like
tough though.
I don't want it to come as disrespectful.
Russ is so much more consistent than Eli.
That's what I'm saying. But Eli, big game, he got 2 crazy runs. But it's like, I think Russ is more consistent. It kind of reminds me of the Spillane and Devin Bush conversation when I'm talking about both of them dudes a little bit.
Yeah, that's close.
That's what it feels like.
I think that's a close argument. Whereas I have Ben over both of them. It's not even a question.
Exactly. But how many times have we heard people talk about Eli as if he's up there with Ben? I don't agree with that at all. And that's
he's a Hall of Famer, though, in my book.
I know.
Russ is a Hall of Famer.
But what do we say? Are all Hall of Famers equal? I don't think that. I think it's certain tiers to that thing as well. But, man, when I think of Russ, I don't know, man.
That's still damn good, though.
No, It is.
You know what I mean? He's a Hall of Famer.
He is. He is. 100% he is. But when we're talking about debates like this, that sound good, but we debating against another Hall of Famer. Yeah.
So you're going Zach Wilson?
I would. Yes, because I'm going to get out of that deal. And if he lights it up, great, because he's young. I feel at least a little bit more hope in a younger guy than a guy that is already where he's at in his career and the money that's going to come with that as well. You can always bring in another piece, man. I could bring in more pieces to help Zach with that contract if I had to stay with him for the next 3 years. What am I bringing into to Denver with Russ's contract as it currently is?
Team. That's my point. Is like if you can construct the team that way and still have Russ on that contract, then fine.
So decent.
You might not be able to because the contract's going to start.
So with Denver,
going in years now.
So was Denver a Hackett thing or was it a Russ thing?
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. What you think though?
Hackett's gone. Got to say Hackett.
Fair enough.
Like maybe too, and maybe this helps me with my Russ case a little bit. Maybe he was too full of himself over these last 5 years. Mm-hmm. The let Russ cook thing, gets out of Seattle, goes down. Like this has been a massive failure. This is like rock bottom.
Yeah.
So this is where you check yourself.
I would agree.
Should be able to only go up from here.
I would agree.
Go back to what was happening in Seattle and be like, you know what? I was doing good things.
But that's not easy to do, man.
It should be able to only go up from here with him. Like
I'm with you.
Unless you just think he's washed now at this point, and like
see, that's
there's no going back.
I don't agree with that narrative either. But
it's not like he can't throw the ball,
right? And it's like I'm like, yo, Russ can still make Reese, can still move, but does he do some goofy looking stuff out there right now? It's like, yeah, stuff that's like very uncharacteristic for Russ. But I don't know, man. Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the dudes that always took care of the ball at a decent rate.
Always. It was always hard to sack. Always had great pocket awareness and stuff like that. You watch him now, I'm like, bro, like that's not the Russ that I seen that we played against. Like that ain't nah. I don't know what that is.
Maybe he needs Matt Canada.